Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Scott's Quick Cash Class, where every day I'm bringing you a 5-minute podcast to help you learn more about finances and different financial topics. So today we're talking about budgets and what happens when you break them, right? So we've all had a budget, or maybe we all haven't. I know in my life, I've had a few different budgets going around, and it's always, a budget's like a living document, man. You're always changing and upgrading it and trying to refine it. But what happens when you have your budget and you just completely blow it? Whether it's for a week, it's for a month, it's for, maybe a year, you blew your whole budget. Well, don't despair. I've got some solutions for you. I've got some things that I've done that's kind of helped me get my mind back, because if you've been paying attention in the other episodes, basically my biggest struggle was getting my mind right? And so a lot of the things that I'm talking to you guys about, I'm sharing my experiences, how my mind was not always thinking the right way, or at least the way that I would like it to think in order to get me to where I want to be. So we're going to talk about some of those things and hopefully get you back on the correct path. So let me start you out with a few statistics. 63% of Gen Zers don't have a budget. And it's probably even more than that when you start factoring in the other different generations. But 6 out of 10 of you guys don't have a budget. And basically what that tells me is your money's going to go someplace without you even knowing it, because money just follows the easiest path, right? It's kind of like water. If you ever taken water out and just, poured it down your driveway or seen it run down a hill, it is going to go to the easiest path, right? Well, money is the exact same thing. It will go to the easiest source that takes it out of your pocket. So remember that. If you guys do a budget, here's another interesting statistic for you. If you guys do what's called a zero-based budget, which is assigning every dollar that you get paid a location. Now, it could be as something as $5 to coffee on Sunday. Well, you at least have that assigned. Or it could be $10 to savings account at this bank, or $15 to pay back my mom for something I borrowed. Whatever it is, you want to have a zero-based budget, because that gives every dollar a spot to go, right? You don't have it going to the easiest path to go away from you. You have it going to a location that you made it go to. Well, people who do that, on average, save between 18 to 24% more a month. So just having a plan of, okay, when I get my paycheck, here's where every dollar goes, you're going to save almost 20 to 25% more than if you didn't have a plan at all. So think about that. People under the age of 30 spend on average about $1,100 a month on what's called discretionary income, meaning, going out to eat food, movie tickets, drinks, things like that. And I got a little funny story for you. Whenever I first got married, me and my wife, we were trying to figure out our budget, and if that's something you guys want to talk about, is budget for married couples, or how to work that, leave a comment in there. But me and my wife, we had just got married. We were trying to figure out what is our budget, right? She had her own financial system. I had my own financial system, and we were younger, and it wasn't exactly the best financial system. So I told her, I said, well, hey, let's try to keep track of our spending. So we had a board, and it was a, kind of a whiteboard that you write on, and we put on there different areas of, our budget, whether it's groceries and, our rent and things like that. Well, one of the sections was miscellaneous. So anything that didn't fit into this section, the other sections, we put in the miscellaneous. Well, by the end of the first month, we had like $3,300 in miscellaneous charges, and we couldn't begin to rationalize how we even come up across and spent these monies. And my point is we were both shocked at how much we actually spent. We had to confront the brutal truth of, like, the numbers were written there, right? It wasn't like I made it up or she made it up. We both spent that money, and if we would not have kept track of that, I guarantee you there's no way that we would have believed that we spent that much money, because that was more than we actually made combined as an income. We spent more on miscellaneous stuff than we actually even made in the whole month, and that wasn't even counting our other bills. So that was a wake-up call for us that we were not heading in the right direction. And if we did not do something very quickly, we were going to be in an immense amount of debt that is not good. So fortunately, we did get that figured out. But I just bring that story up to show you, like, we will lie to ourselves to convince ourselves that we are not spending as much as we are. And I challenge you, take a week, take a month, whatever, write down all your expenses and actually take a look at it. It's a little bit scary. So let me give you a few quick things here. If you had a budget and you completely blew it, the biggest thing you need to do is take a deep breath and just forgive yourself, right? And don't beat yourself up, because we all do it. We all spend money on stuff that we shouldn't have, right? And the difference between great players and average players or bad players in whatever sport you want is when they make a mistake, they don't follow it up with an even bigger mistake or a bigger mistake or another mistake. They generally follow it up with something good. So my advice to you is take a deep breath, just stop, and just review what happened, right? Like, where did I get off track? How did that happen? Reset, go, all right, that was a one-off. Or this was a one-off week or whatever that was. And then look at your budget. Maybe you got to make some adjustments, but then recommit to what you started doing, right? Because there's a lot of things that are not linear, right? Like, hey, I made a budget. All right, everything's good. A lot of times it's one step forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But as long as you're making progress, that's the important thing. Second thing is talk to somebody about it, right? Don't feel guilty. Be like, if you have an accountability partner, that's really going to help just make some of those tougher decisions a little bit easier, right? When you hear someone else, even if you know what the right thing to do is, if you hear someone else go, hey, listen, you probably shouldn't do that, or hey, yeah, it's probably not the wisest thing to spend on that, that's gonna just reinstitute that, hey, I'm on the right path here, right? So just after you kind of do your own thing, talk to somebody else and go, hey, listen, this is kind of what I'm thinking. And if you don't have somebody you can talk to, you really need to make that a priority. I can't think of anyone successful that I know that didn't have, and that's whether that's finances, professionally, whatever that might be, that didn't have someone help them get there, right? Or didn't have at least someone they could do feedback off of. And when I say that, I'm not just saying any best friend or anybody. I'm talking about somebody that's financially successful that you need to use as a sounding board. Don't just talk to anybody. Talk to someone who's financially successful, who's at where you want to be, and that'll help. And then the last thing is maybe shorten up the time period that you're checking on yourself to make sure your budget's okay. If you have a month-long budget, maybe check in after a week or check in after 2 weeks to see if you're kind of on track. And that will kind of help, stopping the avalanche if you're going the wrong direction. So hopefully some of those things help. I'm going to leave you with question of the day and tip of the day. Question of the day is, what's your personal trigger that caused you to go off budget, right? Is it you had a rough week at work, or maybe your boyfriend or girlfriend said something to you, your spouse, or maybe it's that friend that didn't call back, or maybe you hit Amazon at night and you start to scroll, whatever that is, what causes you to go off track? And then tip of the day, next time you're thinking about buying an impulse buy, and that can just be anything quick, give your future self a 24-hour pause. And we've talked about this before, but just wait 24 hours before you make a buying decision. You definitely should wait 24 hours before you make any big decision. But for purchasing, if you just give yourself a little bit of delayed gratification, I guarantee you that'll help you make better decisions. So, was a little long-winded today. Hopefully you guys picked something up and really enjoyed it. If you have some questions, we really like the questions down on the bottom. If you have a topic you want us to talk about, please let us know. Once again, every day I'm coming at you, 5-minute segments-ish, and never going to try to sell you anything, just here to help out and be on this journey together with you. So, thank you guys for watching. Till next time, Scott from Scott's Quick Cash Class.